Hi, I'm Chris, and this is our 2021 Cruiser Aire. Sierra and I want to thank you for taking an interest in our camper. This video should show you how to safely and effectively operate the vehicle. Okay, for hooking up the camper to your vehicle, expect I will help you out with the first time, but say you are at the camping spot, you disconnected so that you could go drive into the national park or go into town. This is how you'll hook it up again at the end of your trip. We'll put this weight distribution hitch with the sway bars onto your vehicle, and then we'll get them spread out, back it up such that the receiver is ready and aligned. Bring the camper down at this point to get it connected. I like for the receiver ball to be a little bit forward of the camper and then just let it slide on. That way this mechanism slides forward, no problem. Okay, I'll give it a little wiggle there to make sure it goes on appropriately, and you see you're latched in. As soon as we get that, we're gonna bring this forward, lock it into place. Now I'm going to bring the hitch back up, and the reason I'm doing this is to check the integrity of this connection here. But also you'll notice these sway bars are now going to travel up as I kind of put a moment force on the hitch. And this will help me get it onto this stand without having to use a lot of muscle to do so. Okay, I've got the hitch up nice and high. Now I'm just going to bring the sway bar over, lock it into place. Okay, cool. Now it's totally good to go. The weight will be distributed on those bars rather than completely on the back axle of your vehicle. And it'll also prevent sway as you're going down the highway. Even like up to 70 miles an hour is fairly comfortable as long as you've got a decently capable vehicle. We actually pull with our half-ton Suburban, and it does just fine even through the mountains of Utah. Cool. We'll bring the hitch back down. You're of course going to want to continue to bring it down all the way to the point where now this pole, if you will, is going to come up all the way to the stop indicator there, and then we'll get everything plugged in. So this piece is going to hold the actual connection in, so that's pretty important there. We are going to connect our power and lights. This is all just like trailer standard, right? So connect this guy. What's nice about this is in this connection, we've got a brake controller for you. So if you're not towing with a big diesel truck, you don't know what a brake controller is or don't have one, then this will function just fine for you. We've got an app actually for it. This connects via Bluetooth for all your brake controlling needs. This guy, finally, this is kind of the emergency brake system. So I'm just gonna slide this through here and then clip this onto this clip. The idea being, if this ever for whatever reason came disconnected, it would pull this cord and actuate the brakes so that the camper would just stop and wouldn't continue going down the street. Finally, you're going to connect your chains, one to each side. Cool. And then we are ready to go. Hitch bar's on, everything's connected. We'll bring this guy up, get stuff out of the way, and then we're ready to roll. The first thing you want to do when you pull up to your campsite is make sure that it's level. We've got two convenient levels placed on the vehicle. So this one for side to side, and you can see that we're about 2 inches high on the left side of the camper there. So what you'll want to do before disconnecting is then take 2 of these blocks, put them under this front wheel axle and then the back one as well with 2 more blocks, pull forward another 6 inches or so, and then the camper will be level. side to side. Okay, the next really important thing before you disconnect is going to be to place chocks on the same axle, both sides of the camper. This will ensure it doesn't roll away on you after you disconnect. Okay, and that's really all the prep you need for the camper before you take it off the vehicle. You can use the wood blocks we've got in the pass-through storage, place them under this main support here, and then I'm just gonna hit up to drive the shaft down until we get some weight on that. And it's now off of the vehicle. Now, as soon as I've got the weight on this and not on the vehicle, I'm gonna start disconnecting. So we'll take the lights out, disconnect this emergency brake line here. We'll take the chains off. And then we're almost ready to go here. I'll go ahead and take this out, but I'm gonna leave it here and I'm gonna leave the hitch connected for now. A trick, since a lot of the weight is on these weight distribution sway bars here, they're gonna be really difficult to move at all with the weight still on that. So what you can do is bring this hitch up and just keep letting it come up. It'll bring your vehicle, the rear of it, up slightly, but you'll keep going up until you get to a point where now this hitch is pulling up on both the vehicle and there's no more weight on these sway bars. They're easy to take off of these supports. So I'll just check it. Yep, that's a lot easier. Now I can just pull it right off to the side. I'm gonna get these guys out of the way. Step over to the other side. Be careful for the hitch grease that's there. Don't let it ruin your clothes, as I've done a few times before. And then this one won't come off yet, so I'm gonna keep going up. And then I'll check it again. And there we go, I'm able to get it off. Now, if I were to pop the hitch off right now, the vehicle would jump down and be a little bit aggressive. So I'm gonna bring the stand back down, get a little bit of downward pressure on the vehicle, and then we'll release the hitch from there. Okay, after we get to that point, we will release the hitch, bring it back up so it's clear, and then we can pull the vehicle forward. So there we go, it didn't pop off because I brought it back down. And it's a little bit of a back and forth game, up, down, to kind of go through the most convenient method to get the vehicle disconnected here. So we'll bring this up, make sure there's clearance, bring it forward a few feet, and then once we get it away from the actual trailer hitch, it's just a simple disconnection of this piece. Standard hitch applies, and you can put the weight distribution hitch either in pass-through storage or just throw it underneath the camper if you're in a secure location. Now, the last thing I'll say about this up and down mechanism here is that's going to be how you level the camper now forward and back. So you can see we're high on the front side. I'm gonna bring that down once the vehicle is clear to make sure it reads level at that point. Okay, now we've got the vehicle out of the way, camper's disconnected, and one of the beauties of renting a camper trailer is that now you have your nice vehicle ready to go into a national park or just have flexibility to go into town, whatever you need. The next thing you're going to do is extend these stabilization bases here to both make sure the camper's not going to move at all, but also as you're walking around now, it'll feel much more stable, like a real house, if you will, rather than you're like in a type of moving vehicle. You'll just hold this down until you hear a click, and now you know it's all the way down, ready to go. The only thing you need to think about, potential catch with these, is this: if I just hit extend, a lot of times this leg will catch on this side. See, just like that. So if that happens, I'm gonna hit retract, let it come back up, and then pretty much every time you need to like hold this lip as you hit retract. I only have 2 hands here, so I'm gonna do that, okay? And so I just made sure it was clear on this side before bringing it all the way down. And then you'll have a nice stable base for your camping experience. Okay, we'll let it click on this side. We've got the hitch ready to go. Chocks are in. The camper is stable. And that's really it for the heavy lifting part of setting up. You're ready to camp now if you are boondocking or dry camping, as some people call it. And you just need to set up the inside of the camper and get the slide out. If you are at a campsite with hookups, now you can connect the electric. So that's back here on the back side. You're just gonna open this up, line it up, plug it in, twist, and then you can tighten with this ring to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. This other side, if you're going to like a no kidding camper RV park, this should just plug right into the kind of electricity box that they've got next to each site. If you are renting it just to put it on your curb for the weekend, so you've got family visiting, then we've got an adapter that will connect to just the standard American prongs, and as well as several extension cords, so you can run it to the front of your house, plug it in, and be good to go there. If you're plugging into a campsite, you can pretty much run anything in the camper at that point. So air conditioning, the fake fireplace, electric fireplace, the big microwave, whatever you want. If you're plugging into the side of the house, don't expect to be able to use the air conditioner just because of the draw of electricity. You can try it. It'll probably work for a little bit, and then it'll probably trigger a fuse or a breaker inside your house that you'll have to switch. So don't be surprised by that. Cool. So you're at a campsite. You've plugged in the electricity, and now we want to get the entire water system good to go. So you've got 2 valves here on the left side of the camper, conveniently labeled. So this one is our black tank, and then we've got the gray tank as well. So if you're new to camper experience, black just means like toilet water really, and then gray is going to be like your dirty sink water. So this is the sink water and shower water from the back side. It forks in to this black tank toilet water. You'll connect this side of the hose right here, twist, make sure it's secure, and then you will pull open these valves. No twisting required, it's just pull and then push to shut. So pull it open, pull this guy open, and you're ready to go. This side will go into the drain in the campsite. Again, if you're not somewhere with a sewer system, you'll just leave these closed. You'll ignore this step, and you'll just fill up these tanks. And then when I get it back, I will go ahead and empty them. The only other valve you've got is another gray tank for the kitchen sink. Again, it's pull, push on the front side, kind of in the kitchen area there. Usually you just leave this closed while you're camping, and then after the experience, you can empty that out. Okay, and then so that's for water coming out of the camper. water going into the camper, we've got a hose with a water filter in case we're ever drinking that water, or for our dogs or whatever. We'll connect this side to the high pressure water source next to the camping site, and then this end will just go right here. So city water connection, good to go. You connect it, then open up the valve on like the source, and now you have high pressure water going into your camper. If you don't have full hookups, then I will use this hose with my water source to fill up with this valve, which will fill a fresh water tank for you to use while you're out there. Finally, we've got a black tank flush valve. This is basically when you're done with camping for the weekend and you want to clear that out. As a courtesy, you can do that. Otherwise, I'll take care of it. But if you've still got the valve open on the black tank and it's still connected to that sewer, you can hook up the water from the city water connection. Now here, make sure that valve over there is still open, and then go ahead and turn the water back on. It'll flush through the black water system just to kind of clear it out and clean it out before you turn the water back off, and then close the valves over there and disconnect everything to bring it home. Okay, we've got an outdoor water shower here. Battery disconnect, we'll leave it on. If we're storing it for long periods, that's the only time we'll turn it off. Other things just while I'm here to talk through in the pass-through storage. So, yep, we've got the hoses, the extension cords, camping chairs, other fun stuff as mentioned in the Outdoorsy post, and then a gas fire pit for you, propane tank, and then a generator in case you're planning on using one of those, fire sticks, and a tool kit as well for you. Okay, so we've got the water connected, the camper's all stable, ready to go. And now we'll talk about how to set up the inside. So you come open this main door over here, get it all the way open, and then release to unlock. Bring this main stairs down. Now these adjust, so if you're on like hilly terrain or whatever, you can use these pegs, pull them out, and then adjust the length of this guy either way. For this other door here, we've got additional stairs, so you've got nice convenient access for both like the main part of the camper as well as, call it, the master bedroom here with the king bed. So we'll just come up in here. Sorry, it'll be completely pristine and tidy when it's ready to go for you. But we've got the king bed, the additional TV that you may be able to hook up to something like a laptop. One more thing about the outside, this is our outdoor grill. Feel free to use that. Ask me if you have any questions about hooking up the propane. We've got the indoor bunks, and then for the inside of the camper, what you can do first is come over and we'll check our levels. So battery should be full. Fresh water is empty now, but when you push this, it'll read full if we filled it up beforehand for dry camping. Otherwise, you can expect it to be empty just to minimize your weight while pulling it if you're going somewhere that has full water hookups. Okay, you can check if the level of the black water is nearing full and needs to be emptied. So obviously it'll be empty when you start your camping experience. Same thing for gray, and galley just means the aft gray water. Okay, 2 switches. So the awning out and awning in. Feel free to use this. When you hit awning out, it's going to bring it out from the outside. A lot of fun while camping. One thing, just make sure you're watching it so that when it gets to its fully extended point of actuation, you can go ahead and let off the button. There's no like stop that will keep it from extending too far once you get to that point. So right about there, I'll just leave it. And then I want these slide out as well. So I'm gonna hit slide out. That's gonna bring everything out and give you the nice full camper that we're looking for here. Okay. Other things to talk about right now. All the water should work if you've gotten it hooked up. You've got the full kitchen over here as well with a big old microwave if you're hooked up to the electricity. And then with the slide pull out, this one you can hold until it clicks, and now you're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna turn a couple lights on and then talk about these switches. So if you are running off of the city water, that high pressure water, and things are already pressurized, you don't need to worry about the water pump. You can simply go and select a water heater. For this choice, we've got gas and electric. If you're plugged in full hookups to electricity, you're gonna turn that on. Kitchen light can come on. And now really this is what it should look like when you've got full hookups. If you don't have full hookups, you're dry camping. Electricity is not going to be supplied for the water heater. So now you want to run the water heater off of your propane. And since you don't have hookups, you don't have that high pressure source, now you're going to click on the water pump as well, and you can hear it working. So now you're going to have high pressure, hot water for your camper. Of note, if you're running that, take quick hot showers because the water heater is only 6 gallons in capacity. That's pretty standard for all camper trailers. Okay, we've got cool ambiance lighting for this and the awning outside. It's a lot of fun, as well as a Bluetooth speaker. I'll let you guys figure this out, but you can run radio. Zone A is for inside and Zone B is for outside. It is an awesome glamping experience there. If you're on full hookups and it's the summer, you want to make sure this light switch is set to AC. That just means the electrical circuit is hooked up to run the air conditioner, which will be controlled right here. Standard thermostat. If it's cold outside, you want this switched to the fireplace setting, and this will allow the fireplace to work. The farthest button up here on the right side will turn your fireplace on. It'll look really cool. And then the second from the right one will actually turn the space heater function on and off, and that'll provide heat. We've camped in lows that were getting down into the high 30s here in Utah, and not running the centralized heat, just this electric space heater all night, and it kept us plenty toasty. One of the advantages of this 4-season well-insulated camper. If it's getting no kidding cold, or you just like it a little bit warmer at night, we've also got a centralized heat function here, which runs off the propane. Cool. All right. Other things for setup. So the microwave, full size, that'll work when you're hooked up to electricity. We've got spark and turn on for the burners off the propane, and then additionally for the oven as well. Okay. Finally, the fridge. It's nice and chilly in here right now, so on and off. We'll get this set up for you going. Auto just means if there's electricity, we'll use the electrical source. Otherwise, kind of just like the water heater, it can run either. So if there's no electricity, then it's going to be using the propane from the 2 tanks on the front end. Okay. Last couple things I'll mention. So we talked about the master bed with the spacious king bed there, your own TV that you can hook up to a laptop or phone, something like that. This nice big TV buttons are over here on the right side, and that's got an antenna for local TV if you want to watch a football game or something on the weekend. Down here's our circuit breaker box. So you can open this up and check if something like electrically seems like it's popped. It just took a little too much load, but you shouldn't have to deal with that. Final things to look at here. We've got the full-size pantry really with the trash there, and then the twin bunks we talked about. Excuse me, those are full-size bunks, and there's 2 of them. And then finally, the bathroom, which is good to go. Full up shower, ready to go for you. And a nice stay here. The last thing I'll mention inside is please, before you move the camper, go ahead and bring the sliding door closed. Latch this here and make sure it's locked such that the door doesn't slide and cause damage to the camper while you're moving it via the tow vehicle. Same applies for any loose items in the camper. Just make sure they're secured before you start driving. All right, those are the basics of connecting the camper to your vehicle as well as disconnecting it and setting up for a great camping experience.